Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Honorable Chief Qadi Sheikh Abdul Halim, Dr. Abdul Qadir Hashim, our Imam, Imam Jamaluddin, our Imam Sheikh Mubarak Awais, and our Imam Sheikh Salman Aslam, and our dear respected ulama who are in the crowd, our elders and esteemed students. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're all tired. Without wasting further time, alhamdulillah, we are going to be starting off the question and answer. First and foremost, my name is Muhammad Yassin. I am in charge of the Islamic Department of Young Muslim Association. We'll start our questions. Ustad, what opportunities do the law students have in the Kadhi'S court? The opportunities which are achievable in the Kadhi'S court.
The opportunities for law students in the Kadhi'S court. While as a student, there are opportunities for attachment. Then your fourth year, I think. So that is an opportunity that is probably there. Law students would probably also want to aspire to be a Kadhi. To be a Kadhi, you must also possess another degree in Islamic law. And we have students who have both Islamic law degrees and the LLB degrees. And those are usually are better Kadhis. In future, we are going to see that probably most Kadhis will have both degrees. So there are opportunities to be a Kadhi while you're a student and even as you graduate. I think my most concern for students, for lawyers who eventually graduate as lawyers, law students, is on the aspect of research and the aspect of practice. Aspect of practice, like we've had, Muslims would want to be represented in court by Muslims, but they oftentimes choose to be represented by non-Muslims. How? When there are quite so many qualified practicing advocates of the High Court who are Muslims. So it is also the issue of character, the issue of performance, and the issue of interaction with our customers. As you graduate as law students, your priority should not just be financial. The cases in the Kadhi'S court might not have a lot of high fee notes, but they're very important. We wish to handle those cases. And also as students or as practitioners in the courts, then you're able to even advance, to assist the court to advance local jurisprudence in Islamic law in the courts and to be vigorous even in the High Court or the Court of Appeal, to be able to argue in favor of the aspects of the High Courts that are going to develop and help this institution. But other than that, also in Nairobi here in Mombasa, the Muslim advocates, ladies and gentlemen who are practicing, they have their own organizations of Muslims, and they would aspire to want to offer like pro bono cases and to help the Kadhi'S court, to help their customers who are Muslim to be able to access Kadhi'S court in support. So there are so many ways we can support the customers as well as the Kadhi'S court, and we've seen that happen in Nairobi and Mombasa and many other regions, that even as, not just as in the early stage of practice, even in future you can be able to chip in, to do your part, to give back to the Kadhi'S court as an advocate of the High Court in Kenya. Another thing, as an advocate, I think if you don't get a chance to practice in the court, you should practice, in my view, in the other normal courts, And even if you're not a Kadhi, then there's no harm to be a magistrate and eventually to be a judge. We have very few judges and very few magistrates who are Muslims because of the proposition that probably now this is al-hukmu fi ghayri ma amara Allah and all those, it's kufr and so on. But you can see the ramifications we are having, the judgments that are coming against Islamic law. If we had judges who are Muslims, although not trained in Islamic law, they can be assisted, and then they'll be able to protect and advance the aspects of Islamic law as a magistrate and as a judge of the High Court and Court of Appeal and even the Supreme Court. We are very few in those regards, and we should have as many as possible. Allahu Alam.
Sheikh Al-Halim has said, I refer to the issue of diversity. And one of the ramifications which Qadi has mentioned now is that Qadi rules are being overturned. They're being struck out. Why? Because the hierarchy, the law students are here, they can understand the hierarchy of the courts. If a Qadi gives a judgment or a decision, it goes to the higher court. Until we have superior courts for the Kadhi'S, we don't know when, Allah Ta'ala Alam, when we'll be alive or not. But the only way out is to have Muslim judges at the superior courts. We have few now, Justice Muhammad Ibrahim and the others. And you can see, you can read, from the judgments. You can read there's something which they understand. There is something which they appreciate. We are not saying that non-Muslim judges are bad. It's the same story I told you before. Any lecturer can teach Islamic studies. Any lecturer can teach Arabic studies. But if we have a lecturer from the same faith, if you have a lecturer from the same mother tongue, it's different. Let us have diversity. Let us change our attitudes. These issues of saying we are a non-Muslim country and وَمَنْ لَمْ يَحْكُمْ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. Scholars have a lot of opinions. That's another chapter for another day, but I'm just emphasizing on the issue of what Chief Qadi has said. We need Muslim magistrates in this country. We cannot prosper the same way you are seeing in other fields. I don't want to mention a lot, but when you are Muslim, and we are not saying that if you are Muslim at that position, you go and discriminate. No. You do justice. You do justice for all. Because even our High Court judges here, they're not named in their names. You start with Honorable Justice, Al-Adl. And in Islam, we have a lot of examples on that. So let us change our thinking. And alhamdulillah, we have scholars, many scholars. You have here Sheikh Mubarak and Sheikh Jamal and others. Sheikh Jamaluddin mentioned about the issue of shura. We don't consult. We just pick from Sheikh Google. It's haram, it's halal, and we just give fatwas. We forget, we don't even give credit to a sheikh. So please, law students, and I said earlier, I graduated from Islamic University. In fact, one of the things, I'm sorry to take this time because I'm the host here, my host institution, and I think I have that privilege. Sometimes people come and ask you students, I want to join University of Nairobi. I said, why University of Nairobi? I'm not degrading my own institution. It's a good university, a reputable university. So I asked them a question. Do you know Omdurman University? No, I don't know. That is where I'm coming from. I'm not praising myself, but universities, institutions do not create leaders. It is you who will prove. So my brothers, my sisters, my sons and daughters, let us change our attitude. We are in a different age. in a different time, and consult with the sheikhs. The last point about opportunities. There are many opportunities in the Qadi court. Even if you don't want to practice or to become a Qadi for that matter, because people already, you have that stereotype. Ibn Battuta, the one which Sheikh Abdul Halim has mentioned, Ibn Battuta was a Qadi, but he had an ambition. Besides being a Qadi, he said, let me just go around the world and see what is happening, a geographer. So there are many opportunities in the Qadi court. One of them is law students, you can do legal clinics. You can do pro bono work. And if you decide to go to that route, then Arabic will be your tool. If you want to go the Sharia way, you want to practice in Qadi courts, you want to know much about Sharia, please equip yourself from now with Arabic. And we are lucky because we have many institutions which offer those kinds of, Jamia Mosque and others will get a lot of help in terms of that. So my parting shot, please. We have, alhamdulillah, now some of our students who are magistrates and, they're in the line of becoming judges. So let's widen up, If the good thing with the judiciary, you are independent. If you have any case which you feel, you have an issue, you just pass it to your colleague. My colleague, this one is a bit tricky for me, just handle it. If you feel you're conscious, that it may, at a point, maybe conflict with your faith, you just pass it. The same way we say the conflict of interest. If I'm a judge, and then I have a case which is represented by my student who is an advocate, I'll just recuse myself and say, my friend, take this one, I cannot appear because there's a conflict of interest. So we have many options. My dear students, consult. Don't take, because one decision you make at a point, you may get an opportunity for an LLB. And someone else may come and pick a fatwa from Google, law is haram. I remember, just for, an anecdote. I trained before Honorable Justice Abida Ali. That was in 2000. She's now a superior judge. So when I went 2000, one of my colleagues, a Sheikh vipi bwana, waenda kwa mwanamke bwana, waenda kusoma sharia kwa mwanamke. Kaambia Sheikh, mimi siendi kusoma sharia, ni requirement, siwezi kwenda school of law mpaka nipitie through an advocate. Na huyu advocate Abida is one of the best lawyers in that time. So you see attitudes. Even sometimes your friends, your sheikhs will come and suppose if that moment I said, okay, this advocate is a bad one or is a lady and I forget about law, could I be here today sitting as, before you with all those, profiles? So please, students, take advantage. And we normally say, put your head, any opportunity you have, put your head and your hand and leg, and ultimately you reach, and because the whole idea, please look at the bigger picture. Think out of the box. Don't think about yourself. Sheikh Qadi said, it's not an issue of you becoming a Qadi. Think about the community. Because if you become in any area of professional, it will benefit you, it will benefit your family, it will benefit your community, and of course, the entire country.
Jazakallah khairan, Doctor and our Chief Qadi, for enlightening us with the beautiful answers. Without further ado, our Imam, Sheikh Jamaluddin, would like to request for other responsibilities to leave our premises. Just one comment.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ikhwani wa akhawati fillah, first of all, I'm very honored to be gathered with you here today, and I thank Allah for this opportunity. And also I want to thank Young Muslim Association for their efforts. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our Chief Qadi. And as young people, I'm also young, inshallah. As young people, we have an obligation to educate ourselves about Islam. So I would really want every one of you to make time to study the deen. You see, these people who are seated here, No one was born with knowledge. Everyone came to this world 0%. Allahu akhrajakum min butuni ummahatikum la ta'lamuna shay'a. All of you came out of the wombs of your mother not knowing anything. Not knowing anything. No one was born with knowledge. So what happened is everyone had to put some effort, and they were given tools. They were given ears to listen, they were given eyes to see and read, and they were given hearts to preserve the knowledge. So my advice to you is take time and study your deen. Number two, I'm very honored to meet Dr. Abdul Qadir Hashim. It's first time I'm seeing the Sheikh. Dr. Abdul Qadir Hashim, right? Ndoye Ustad? Ndoye? I've read his materials, but now I'm putting the face with the name together, because I knew this Sheikh differently, and I knew Dr. Abdul Qadir Hashim was a different person. But Leonime, I've connected the dots. So I've benefited from some of your works. I've read some of your works, and I'm honored today to have met you, and I would love to have your number also. Diversity. So I've read your materials. There's some very nice materials I've made. May Allah bless you and grant you tawfiq and a way you can benefit the ummah more.
Ameen.
Lastly, I have other duties. I have to go lead Dhuhr prayer, and I would love to excuse myself. And Sheikh Salman, thank you for the Qira'ah, Khalaf and Hamza. I don't know much about Qira'ah, but I was impressed hearing a young man saying this is Khalaf. And may Allah bless you and grant you more knowledge. Ndugu yangu Barakawes. Barakawes, you're both from Mombasa. The goodness is from the people of Mombasa, not Malindi. So Sheikh Barakawes, Allah has blessed me that we've spent time together. We were neighbors in Mombasa. My house was next to his house. We were neighbors in our mosques. Our mosques were closest to each other. If I miss Asr in my mosque, they would pray for 30, so I'd go to his mosque. And then we came to Nairobi at the same time. And inshallah, in Jannah we'll be together. So he's someone very dear and very close to me. And to Kambali, we've grown together. We've grown together by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he's someone very dear that I love, and someone Allah has granted him knowledge. Amefika PhD, na mimi niko njia nitabanana hapo hapo. Ahsantum wa jazakumullah. Thank you for your time, ya akhwan. Ahsantum wa jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khairan for the lovely words, Sheikh Jamal. We have a question from one of our leaders, the chairman of Ummah Foundation and the chairman of Parklands Mosque Committee, Uncle Fawz Qureshi. We would like to ask the Chief Qadi the second question.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My question, Honorable Chief Qadi, is regarding the children matter during divorce and separation within Muslims. The Chief Qadi's court's decisions regarding children are overturned by the Children's Court, saying that the Chief Qadi's court does not have the jurisdiction to decide or give rulings on children matter. You know, the children matters are very integral part of a divorce or a separation within Muslims. So I can't understand why the law does not allow the Chief Qadi's court to give rulings or decision or make decisions or rulings on children matter. Or is there a chance for an amendment in law to incorporate such a thing, where the Chief Qadi's court would be given powers to decide on children matters? Jazakallah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is one of those very technical and at the same time probably disturbing issues that has affected our court. I was trying to partly answer it through my presentation. There was no context on the issue of this jurisdiction before the new constitution, 2010. Before that, then we always had the Kadhi'S court were hearing this because the act itself, how it says, and then came the Children's Act. That was a special court established to deal with children's matter, and then the new constitution. So the interpretation of that brought problem to the High Court. So whenever we made decisions, people rushed to the High Court and said, you have no jurisdiction on the Kadhi'S court. The problem has been on the High Court. In the systems in Kenya, the High Court is a superior court, so the Kadhi'S court is a lower court. So it is bound by the decisions of the High Court. Some of the judges, fortunately, are saying we do have jurisdiction. Some say we don't have jurisdiction. As Kadhi'S court, we persistently heard that we do have jurisdiction to handle children's matter because of so many reasons. It was there before. You look at the charter, the agreement, Shamte and Jomo Kenyatta, that agreement, that is an international treaty, that was the precursor to the 1963 Constitution. So, and also all this before the 2010 Constitution, we still had it. And the Children's Act itself did not repeal the Kadhi'S Court Act. It repealed so many other acts, but the Kadhi'S Act was not touched. And also the provisions itself did not oust the jurisdiction of the Kadhi'S Court Act. There are so many reasons. But those who are saying we don't have jurisdiction, they were looking at the Constitution, saying if the writers of the Constitution wanted us to have jurisdiction, they will have put it there, children's. They want to have a literal word put there. So it was not there. They say we don't have. And also they say now there's a special court that we have. Fortunately, because the High Court itself, we have so many judges. And the very last decision that just shared in the miscellaneous courts, that the High Court agreed with us. And even the Court of Appeal agreed with our decision. So the problem is it depends on the judge's persuasion. So there's still a problem, but we do have jurisdiction. And Muslims should not be afraid to go to Kadhi'S court on the issues of children. We encourage them to go because we hear 3,000 cases a year. And out of those 3,000 cases, the cases that will go to an appeal are less than even 2%. So we still hear so many other cases. And as long as so many other judges are saying you have a jurisdiction, there's no harm. It's only those who are convinced by their advocates to argue that, then they create a problem first. The final remedy that will solve this problem is to have it in clear black and white in the Act that we have Constitution. That conversation has been ongoing. We have an opportunity during the review of the Act. The Kadhi'S Court Act is a very old Act. It's a 1969 Act. It needs to be aligned to the new Constitution. It has not yet been aligned. The Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Martha Koome, is in the process of making a committee to make a draft to review the Act so that we have another Act. When you are doing this, it will be an opportunity to clarify this jurisdiction, and we hope at that time probably we'll have a better opportunity. But as it is as well, we still do have the jurisdiction, and people should continue going to the Kadhi'S court.
Jazakallah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our Chief Qadi of Republic of Kenya with more ilm and tolerance. Jazakallah khairan.